Hello to the world, hello to everyone who's watching this, wherever you are. I've got a few people joining already. There's about 5 or 6 people watching this at the moment. Hello there. Hi, good. Welcome to this sort of fairly impromptu live broadcast that I'm doing on Periscope. Hello. This is actually the second time I've ever used Periscope. The first time I used it was yesterday. Hello there as well. Yesterday when I was walking home, you may have seen it. I was walking home and I thought, I've got Periscope, let's have a go. Without ever thinking of what I was going to say. I started doing it and I realised, wow, this is amazing. This actually works. Periscope is quite a new app. Now, if any of you who are watching this, if you're new on Periscope, it was nice to see you too. I didn't see you. Anyway, if you're new on Periscope, we've got 8 people. Just write the word new, just type the word new, just to let me know if you've only been using it for a couple of days. Yes, someone said, first of all, thank you to accept doing a live Periscope podcast. Well, it's an experiment really. I thought that I'd give it a go because Periscope looks really cool. I downloaded it a few days ago and I started using it yesterday. And immediately I'm sort of hooked on it. And it's very addictive and very interesting because it's very new and lots of possibilities, and it's interesting to see how things are going. Thank you. There you go. Look, it's a Luke's English Podcast t-shirt. I'm trying to do some publicity while I do this. So if you're let's see, if you're new to Periscope, for example, you've only been using it for a week or two, just write the word new now in the comment section. So I guess most of you aren't new. Alright, now if you're new to me, like you've never seen me before, you don't know who I am, and you're not familiar with my podcast, just write the word new as well. Okay, since no one has written new, well, all 8 of you, I guess you all, oh, there's a new person, hello. Oh, someone said they downloaded the app for me. Alright, good. Alright, well, welcome to the app. And if you're new, then welcome to Luke's English Podcast. Someone just asked me if I sell the t-shirts. Well, I used to sell some merchandise like t-shirts and mugs and stickers and things. I think I've got a few stickers here. There you go. How would you like a Luke's English Podcast sticker? Show me the love there if you're interested in the sticker. Someone's really going for it. So yes, I used to sell stuff like this, mugs and t-shirts, but it was for a limited time only. I put a link on my website so that people could get some stuff. The link is not there anymore because, well, it's just not there anymore. But if there's enough demand, then I might restart it again. So if you're interested in t-shirts, just let me know. Right, so what I was saying is this is an experiment. Now, my name's Luke Thompson. Most of you, I think, know me already. Only 8 of you at the moment. This is a very exclusive thing. Only 8 people are actually viewing this. Obviously, this is brand new. I've only just started using it, so I expect not many people know that this exists or that this is even happening. So I've only got 8 lovely people right now, but 9, it's now 9. Hello, Honake. Bad connection, really? Getting a bad connection? Shouldn't be, because I'm on Wi-Fi, so the connection should be fairly good from my end. But we will see. Just let me know how things are going in the comments section. 10 people now. Okay. So not many people at this stage, but who knows? If I keep doing these, I might get more and more, and this could become quite an interesting thing. If you don't know who I am, it's nice to meet you. My name's Luke, and I do a podcast. It's called Luke's English Podcast. Basically, I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English as a foreign language for about 14 years. In London, in Japan, and now in France. I'm based here in France. If any French people, let me know. Show me some love there if you're French. Okay, all right, I've got a few French people. There's more people, if you notice, there's web people watching this. Okay, thank you. More people, if you notice, there's web people watching this. Okay. It may be possible to watch this on the web. I think there are websites that allow you to watch Periscope videos without using the app. Spain, are you in Spain? That's nice. I've got lots of listeners in Spain. It must be very hot there at the moment. It's certainly very hot here in France. You're in the UK. Hello, my home country. Nice to have you here. France, yes, I knew there'd be 1 or 2. I think that some people when using the Periscope app, what they do is they look for people in their area, and then they kind of check out videos there. So I might have a few people who live in the area. Japan representing. Yes, I used to live there for 2 years. You probably know all this already. It's 40 degrees in Spain. Goodness me, that is hot, isn't it? How are you surviving? I suppose you're just sitting there like that, not moving. You're in Paris. Me too. All right. Mexico. I bet it's boiling hot there too. It's certainly hot here in Paris, and I'm up here in what I call the Skypod, or the Spacepod, or the pod ship, as someone referred to it recently. And this is where I record episodes of my podcast. So yes, I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching for years and years. I'm also a stand-up comedian. I go on stage with a microphone and I stand up and I try and make people laugh. I tell jokes, I tell stories, I do impressions and things like that. That's the stand-up thing. The teaching thing, I teach adults of all ages, of all levels of English. Someone's asking me to show the Skypod. I will. It's not completely tidy, but I will show it to you. I'll give you a little tour. In fact, I'll tell you what's going to come. Yes, that was you, the pod ship. I like that. I like the idea of the pod ship. What I will do is, first of all, I'm just going to introduce myself just briefly in case you don't know me. I'll tell you where I am and what's going on around me. I will show you the podcraft, or the pod ship, the space pod. I'll give you a little tour of it, even though it's not really presentable at this moment. What else am I going to do? I'm going to give you a tour of my website. So I'll point the camera at the website and I'll show you some things that you might not know. So even if you are familiar with the yo mofo, that's Paul Taylor, who you might know from the podcast. Paul Taylor is obviously a fellow comedian and someone who is on the podcast every now and then. So he's checked in. Paul Taylor is on Periscope, so you can find him and follow him and stuff like that. Next time Paul is over here and we're recording a podcast, I think that I'll probably do a Periscope, and he will too. It'll be like a double Periscope. I don't know if there's a word for that, but that's what's going to happen. So that's what's going to happen. All right. So I've told you I'm an English teacher. I teach all kinds of things: animal, vegetable, mineral, all types of English, all levels of English. If you need to learn English, I'm your man, because I do all of it. All right, the business English, general English. English for specific purposes, English for kids, English for old grannies, English, any type of English, I'm your man. Okay, so that's that. I also do the stand-up comedy, as I've said. And then in the middle of that, I've got Luke's English Podcast, which is this thing I've been doing for 6 years, and I record episodes of the podcast on my own, usually in the flat. Sometimes I bring my friends in, and we gather around. What do I do on the podcast? I teach English, obviously, but also I try and include bits of comedy in there to keep it entertaining as much as possible. Loads of vocabulary to learn, lots of grammar, lots of idiomatic phrases, pronunciation, cultural stuff, and everything in between. I just bumped the microphone there. Hello there. Hello. 222. Hello. I always recommend your podcast for e-learners. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm amazing. That's it. I can just give up now. I've done it. I'm amazing. 15 people in the house. Nice one. So you get an idea of who I am and what I do. My website, teacherluke.co.uk, or just Google Luke's English Podcast. I've been doing it for 6 years. I get, oh God, how many? About 15,000 downloads every day of the podcast. That amounts to loads over longer periods of time. I am live on Periscope. If you've just started watching, I'm doing my own live broadcast using this fairly new app, and I hope you're enjoying it. I'm just talking to you about who I am at this moment, just in case anyone doesn't know. I've done that plenty of times. I love blowing my own trumpet, obviously. I don't love it that much. The main thing is that I just need to tell people who I am so they know what's actually going on. Yes, there it is, teacherluke.co.uk. You can check it out. There's loads of stuff. I'll come back to that. Now, where am I? Well, I'm from London, but I live in Paris these days, and I live in the 9th arrondissement of Paris, which is a cool place. It's brilliant. In fact, what I'm going to do is raise the blind on the window, even though it's sort of blinding me a little bit. Let's have a little look around the Spacepod, shall we? The Spacepod is where I record episodes of this podcast. and I'm very lucky because I've got a view from the windows. So I'm going to try and show that to you now. So I've got my phone attached to a sort of, it's a selfie stick to be honest, but I don't like to admit that I own one of those things. I've removed it now. So I'm going to give you a little tour around the Spacepod. Let's have a look at the view, shall we? Check this out. See that? There you go. There's Paris for you. Right there, the Eiffel Tower in the middle. Is it possible to zoom in? Oh yeah, I can zoom in a little bit as well. Can you still hear me? Anyway, there's a bit of Paris. Right, if I move around the room, I'm actually connected here with cables and stuff, so I'm not that mobile. Books, look, books. Books, you see, I can read. I'm not a complete idiot, I'm able to read. Yeah, it's a nice view, I'm incredibly lucky. There is a story relating to how I managed to get this apartment, which I'll probably tell on the podcast one day. Books, there's the terrace that you know and love if you listen to the podcast. This is where the magic often happens. You can see that it's bathed in sunlight, which can be hazardous for an Englishman because, you know, my skin gets burned very easily. As you may be able to tell, I'm extremely hot, but happy, which is the main thing, isn't it? There's the desk, not much to see there, it's all a bit messy. Look at this, this is my microphone, and I'm very pleased with this bit of equipment. This is what captures the sound of my voice on the podcast, and it is a Shure SM7B, which is a well-known, good quality microphone. I hope that it's worth it. I hope that you can hear the quality at the end. Obviously, I'm not using this now. This is for the podcast. But it's decent. You know what? Michael Jackson recorded the album Thriller on one of these microphones. So it's a famous mic, and I'm really, really happy to have it. So I hope you do notice the quality. Thanks for saying that, Kafki. Hello there. Hi to new people who've joined. I'm just giving you a little tour of the studio. There is a cheap mixing desk. It's actually very easy to get one of these things, you know. Very easy. These are cheap. It's a USB mixing desk. But what I do is I channel this microphone into the mixer there. You can see the microphone input there. It goes in, and this gives it a boost. It sort of compresses the sound, also amplifies the sound a little bit. I can control some of the things. Obviously I'm still experimenting with this, so I'm still trying to work out the best sound levels and stuff. It also allows me to input other stuff, and actually what I then do is come out of this desk using this cable. There may be some of you out there who probably have a better approach to this, or maybe some of you who just aren't interested at all. But anyway, I said I'd give you a little tour. I come out of the desk using this cable into this thing, which is one of my favourite toys. You see it connects there at the bottom. You just connect it there. This is one of my favourite toys. This is a Zoom H4n, which is a really great recorder. It records in good quality sound. I'm able to do lots of things with it. I can plug 2 mics into it. I can have 3 microphones, so I can record groups of people. And this is just a really nice piece of kit. So it all gets converted to WAV files in there, saved on a memory card. I then transfer the memory card into this. This is like the sort of the mothership, if you like. It's just a laptop. It's not as exciting as a mothership might suggest. It's just a laptop. But then I stick it all in there, and I use GarageBand, and I sort of mess around with it, add my jingles, and Bob's your uncle. You've got a podcast. So if we have a look at the let's have a look at the website. That's my Facebook page. If you don't like it at the moment, then I suggest that you start liking it soon. Here's my website. Hello. Can you just type something just to let me know that you're here, that you're listening? Hello. Ah, thanks. I rock, apparently. Just here, let's see. Just tell me what time it is where you are, because I've got people all over the world who are listening to this. Hello. You're here as well. Just tell me what time it is where you are. Here in Paris, it is currently 5:30 in the afternoon, midnight. So that's Japan, isn't it? I think it's midnight there, and 6:30 p.m. All right, great. Well, the sun is still nice and high in the sky, and it's still boiling hot here. You can probably tell. Look, there's actual sweat. You see that? See the actual sweat? It's perfectly clean. It's beautiful. You could drink it. It's like drinking water. It is. It's like holy water in a way. It's not really like holy water. That's just a joke. That didn't really work. You're from Kuwait, but you're now living in Jerusalem. All right. It must be pretty hot where you are. I'm sure you know all of. What are these things? These are remote controls for these little mini drones. My brother gave me these for my birthday this year, which is pretty cool. I don't think they've got any battery left in them, but let's see. Let's give it a try. Which is the right controller? I think it's this one. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. There you go. There's my mini drone. Difficult to fly one of those one-handed, as I'm sure you can imagine. Anyway, just giving you a tour of my desk here. My very messy desk, as you will see. And as I move my hand around, you might notice something there weird on my finger. That's because I'm married now. I'll tell you about that on the podcast soon. I'm using this microphone to record this. I don't know if that makes a difference. I've been trying to work on this mic for doing videos. This is a Rode video mic, and it's connected to the to my iPhone here with this black cable. I hope that improves the sound quality. You probably didn't notice. That's a pair of binoculars because I live up. I've got, as you can see, I've got a view. It's quite nice to look at the Eiffel Tower and things with those binoculars. So there you go. There's a quick view of space. Now I had this attached to a mic stand, a camera stand. Let's see if I can do that again. Oh no, I wanted to show you my website, didn't I? Okay. All right. This is fascinating stuff, isn't it? Normally I do. Normally I do the audio podcast, and that's like very sort of prepared and stuff like that. Someone's given me lots of love. That's fantastic. Welcome back, Paul. I wonder if anyone's having trouble with the reception. How's the signal? Is it okay? Just tell me. If you got like good signal, just type good signal. You got Paul Comedy, your connection is rubbish. Yeah. All right. Well, sort it out basically, Paul. Get some fibre optics. You're saying it's good? All right. That's nice to know. Bad signal in Germany. Okay. Poor connection constantly. I'm switching between my Mac and my iPhone. Okay. I suppose these are early days for the Periscope app, and we're just wondering how the connection's going to work. Maybe they're working on their coding or something to make sure the video encrypt. What's the word I'm looking for? Just to make sure that the way that the video is encoded, maybe they can find better ways of encoding streaming live video. But it's sort of in its infancy at the moment. Here's Luke's English podcast. Oh, is that going to work? Oh, there you go, teacherluke.co.uk. That's the site that you need to know. And here it is, Luke's English podcast. I'll give you a quick... Someone says, try another device. Yeah, if it's not working, maybe you need to use your iPhone or something, or maybe you need to get a Wi-Fi connection. Mine should be all right because I'm using a Wi-Fi connection, so it should be okay at my end. So if your connection's bad, maybe you need to move into an area where you've got better connection. I'm getting messages on Twitter as I do this. Hey Luke, after a couple of years I can understand you when you talk, but my pronunciation is not good. I want to pronounce like you. Okay, very common question. Arabian says, yes, yours is good, Luke. Okay, that must mean that my signal is good. That's a very common question I get. How do you pronounce like me? You'll have to check out my podcast. That's where I have dealt with that question in the past. You'll have to go through episodes. Someone is asking me, you're using an iPhone 5S, right, Luke? Yes, that's it. I'm using an iPhone 5S. So I've got comments on Twitter, also some comments coming through on Facebook. Let me have a little look at them. We're back to Facebook again. Freddie Luna, how do I find you on Periscope? Freddie, are you there? Have you found me? If you're there, Freddie, just let me know. Send me a little message here. If you're not there, then you're going to have to just download Periscope. I don't know why I'm talking to Freddie Luna now, because there he is. All right, Freddie, you're there. Brilliant. Someone replied. Jan said, yeah, I've got the same problem. Jan, are you here too? Someone needs to tell these guys that they just need to download Periscope. All right. Okay. So I was showing you the website, that's it. So, when you find the website, it looks like this. Some of you are probably familiar with it. I'm sure that there are ways I could improve this. Like, for example, there's a lot of text here. But I just feel it's necessary to explain exactly who I am and exactly what I do, and I've done that in the text there. If you want to just get straight to the episodes, you can check out this embedded player here. This is where you can listen to the latest episodes of the podcast direct from the website. If we keep scrolling down, you'll see comments and things from my listeners. And there are constantly new comments arriving all the time. In fact, I received one just recently. Someone says, in some Android devices it's not available for downloading. Do you mean the podcast is not available for downloading? Because there is a solution to pretty much any download issue that everyone has. It's quite complicated, it seems. I've just had a comment there from Antonio. I'm going to approve it. There it is. That should appear on the website soon. The app. Okay, there seems to be some problems downloading the Periscope app on Android. Okay. Can I just ask everyone, Apple device, just swipe from left to right. So from left to right, just swipe across and you'll see a little profile of mine. Just press the follow button and that way you'll be able to easily access any new content that I put up here. So just swipe from left to right and press the follow button. If you're on an Android device and you're using Periscope, watching this right now, you could, I think, swipe from down to up or up to down. I'm not sure which one it is. Either down to up or up to down, and you'll see my profile. Just press follow there and you'll get stuff, basically. You'll get some sort of notification when I the episodes there you can listen to, also comments. Now on the other side, just on the right hand side of the site, we've got my logo, ways of finding me on different social media. Join the mailing list. This is where you can add your email address, and every time I upload a new episode or a new blog post onto my website, you'll get a notification in your inbox. There you go. This is something you can click in order to get a free audio book. Just go to my website and click there, and you can sign up to a trial with audible.com, which includes a free audiobook. Or you can just visit audibletrial.com/teacherluke. And lots of people are using Audible all around the world. It's a very tried and tested service. I use it. It's brilliant. Free audiobooks with really, really good actors reading out the books. This is a list of recent episodes of my podcast, and you can see, you can just easily access them here just by clicking these links. You can see recently I did an episode called 10 Fixed Expressions with Paul Taylor. Paul Taylor, are you still here? Let's see if Paul is still with us. And then all sorts of other things. Hi, Paul. Paul Taylor is in that one, and so on. You can click any of these, and it will take you to the page for that episode. There you go. There's the page for the episode. You can find the embedded audio player there, so you can just listen directly, and lots of text. If you want to download it, there's your link. Okay, there's your link. What you do is you right-click on that, right-click on it, boom, download linked file, and that's how you do it. Okay, if you're not on an Apple device, it's just save as. Someone has just commented, podcast episode, as soon as possible. I've got lots of things to talk about. I'll come back to that question in a minute, but I'll be doing the next one as soon as I can, as soon as I've had a chance to actually get myself ready and do it. But I've got lots of things to do. My wife and I are going away at the weekend. It's like a mini honeymoon, so I don't have time to do episodes right now, but as soon as possible. It seems people like episodes with my brother, and I will aim to get him on the podcast again soon. I always like having Jim on the podcast. So there you go. Any other questions that you have, please do add them here, and I will endeavour to answer them all. Just stick them here. I've got loads of, as usual, I've got loads of podcast ideas coming. So I was just showing you this. This is a page for one of the episodes of the podcast. You can listen to it there. You can download it using that. If you want to support me, you can donate to my podcast by clicking there. And then the rest of it is this is all text, useful information that accompanies every episode of the podcast, including things like vocabulary, vocabulary that I explain in the episodes and explanations of that vocabulary, all right? And many of these episodes have got transcriptions. So, for example, if we check out episode 280, which is called UK Superstitions, I'm pretty sure that almost the entire episode is transcribed. So if you really want to, you can read everything I'm saying while you're listening to it. Okay? That's nice, isn't it? Oh, yes. So, there you go. Let's go back down here. Recent episodes by category. If you want to search by category, you can. We've got things like accents, advice, beliefs, comedy, and stuff like that. You can check out the categories there. These are pictures of my awards that I've won, and you can see I've won 4 awards in 4 consecutive years. There's another reminder about the Audible offer. Bit of advertising. A phrasal verb a day. That's another podcast that I do. These are short episodes. They're about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 minutes each, and in each one I teach you a single phrasal verb. Okay, so you can check them out on iTunes or here on my website. Donate to LEPRA, that's a charity. Flags here show you who's visiting my website. Another reminder of Audible, and that's pretty much it. Okay, let me just very, very quickly take you through the menu. Are you still there for me? Still okay? Remember, any questions or comments, just write them down here. Show me some love by tapping the screen. You know what these hearts are? If you just tap the screen, you can show me some love. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, a little green one. Just one? Just one green one? Let's have another couple more. I think there might be a slight delay between me speaking and you hearing me and then me getting the response back. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, keep the love coming. That's good. You see, that's like food for a periscoper. What's your name, lady? Oh, that's someone's chatting. Okay. Okay. Don't let me get in your way, mate. Don't let me get in your way. If you want to start, chatting up girls here on my scope, then feel free. I'm just trying to bring people together. That's what I do. So yeah, I was saying these hearts here, all of these little hearts, that's like food for someone who's on Periscope, okay? It's food. It's like fish food. Just sprinkle it in there. Sprinkle it in, because that's what people like me who do stuff on Periscope, that's what we need. It keeps us going, all right? Obviously, we also need things like food and money and shelter, but also these little things help too. All right, we're getting a bit of small talk going on here in the comments section. That's nice. Go ahead, please go ahead. Just send me a postcard from the honeymoon, okay? Right, you've got that, okay? You've got all that. Now, let's have a look at the menu here, because there's loads of hidden stuff in here that you might not know about. Home, that just takes you home. Not to your home. That would be convenient. If that was some sort of teleportation device, you could just click that and you'd automatically be like teleported home. No, unfortunately, that's not what that does. It just takes you to the home page of the website. Of course, you all know that. Here's a useful link, all episodes. And you've got to drag the mouse over that and then click on archive like that. And you will get maybe the most useful thing on the whole website, and that's an archive list of every episode of Luke's English Podcast that I've ever done. There they all are. All of them are there. 280 something episodes of Luke's English Podcast. They're all available for you. You can check them all out. Someone's favourite was What Londoners Say versus What They Mean. Where was that? That's like episode 100 and something. Where is that? What Londoners... There it is. This one, episode 177, What Londoners Say versus What They Mean. That episode was all about typical things that you might hear in London and what they actually mean to Londoners. So it's lots of inside knowledge of life in London. It's essential, really, if you live in London, or if you're going to go to London, or if you just are interested in London and the culture of it. So there you go, all episodes archive. There's also a list here of episodes with transcripts too. Okay, that was your first one, was it? All right, nice. Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Awards, that just tells you more about the awards I've won. How to download, that's pretty simple. Guess what that tells you how to do? It tells you how to download the podcast. A phrasal verb a day, that's where you go to get all of those phrasal verb episodes. Hugo has just asked me how to suggest an episode for me. There's several ways you can do that, Hugo. you can just, let's see if we go back to there are comment sections on every page, first of all. You can leave a comment on the website anywhere, just, at the bottom here. Just leave a comment. Or if you want to contact me, you can. You see that? Contact, hover the mouse over that. You can email me. You can give me feedback here. There's a feedback form questionnaire. Tell everyone you are like the Lionel Messi of podcasting. Okay, I'm like the Lionel Messi of podcasting. Think of an analogy between podcasting and football. Why am I like the Lionel Messi of podcasting? 2 words, ball control. Okay, that was just meant to be. You can email me there. That's it, all right? Fine. So how to download phrasal verb a day transcripts. You can check out all the transcripts that are available for episodes. And if you want to, you can get involved in the transcript I'll start again there. You can start again with you can start doing a transcript if you want. And in fact, many of the transcripts on my website have been provided by listeners, and you can collaborate with other listeners and write transcripts using Google Documents. It's brilliant. It's the future. In fact, it's the present because it's already happening here on Luke's English Podcast. Stuff. This is where you'll find secret stuff that you might not realise. There are some quizzes there. I've made a selection of quizzes from around the internet. You can play them there. It's quite fun. For example, let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Speak French. Okay, I might speak French at the end of this Periscope. Okay, at the end of the Periscope, I will speak a little bit of French, which will be deeply embarrassing for me. Okay, for example, can you name the most commonly used words in the English language? You've got 12 minutes to do it, and let's find the 100 most commonly used words in the English language. All right, there we go. So you can play that quiz. Here's another one. Name the common US equivalents. So the equivalents of English and American, British and American English, little British and American English quiz there. All of these things are on the website. There are some links for other quizzes here too. Common grammar errors, American English and British English. Okay, so that's in the stuff menu. Let's go back to that, because that was quizzes. Memes and jokes, etc. These are like little cartoons, memes and things. Spanish, no, lo siento, no hablo español. That's pretty much all I can say in Spanish. I'm not as good as Paul Taylor, my friend, who is a very good Spanish speaker. I did take some Spanish lessons. I remember a few things. One of them is uno hamburguesa y patatas fritas, por favor, which is obviously the essential phrase that you need to know if you go to Spain. I think that means 1 hamburger and chips, please. Una cerveza, por favor, which is probably a beer, please. The other thing I know how to say is ¿Dónde están los sombreros? Where are the hats? Because basically, if ever I go to Spain, I'm going to need 2, 3, 4 things. 1, I'm going to need a hamburger. 2, I'm going to need chips. 3, I'm going to need beer. And 4th, I'm going to need a hat. So basically, armed with those phrases, I'm going to survive if I go to Spain. Yeah, very useful, right? I think it's a bit basic, but, I'll basically be able to survive on that. You know, these sorts of things. When are you visiting Mexico? Well, I don't know, but my wife and I really want to go. We've been sort of thinking about going to Mexico for a long time. I want to see all of those pyramids and things. I want to get in touch with the Mayans, culture and all the stuff that went on there in the past. It looks amazing. The weather looks fantastic. I love Mexican food. I'd love to come. Honestly, I would absolutely love to come. So many places to visit, so little time. These are little memes that might appeal to people who listen to Luke's English Podcast. So do you listen to Luke's English Podcast? Never heard of it. Looking forward to summer? I live in England. Yeah, English. Am I the only one around here who actually donates to this podcast? Okay, I think you get the idea. So there you go. That's some little memes and jokes and stuff. What's that? UK's favourite books. That's a list of the UK's favourite books. You might have heard me on the podcast talking about that recently. Yes, welcome to the world tour of Luke's English Podcast. I hope you're enjoying it. Show the love. Show me some love. Remember, I'm like a goldfish. You need to keep sprinkling in. That's it. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. UK's favourite books. That's a list of the UK's favourite books because I've been talking about them on the podcast recently. Music mixes. Here's a little Easter egg. Some music mixes. You know I'm a big fan of music. Well, I recently uploaded a bunch of music mixes here onto the website, and you can check them out. Some of these date back to the time before the podcast. For example, this one, I did a mix for a friend in Japan, and I've now uploaded it here. This one is a radio show I did a few years ago with some of my favourite songs. This is an ambient mix, like a chilled out sort of low down tempo mix. And this one is the Classic Breaks Mega Mix, which is a mix of classic funk and jazz breaks and comedy. So that should be fun. You can check those out. Someone said, "What do you have on your Mac?" I've got loads of stuff on my Mac. My purple hearts are your hearts are purple. That's fine. That's beautiful. It's all good. Don't no worries. It's all good. No homo. All right, fair enough. It wouldn't bother me either way, to be honest with you, because it's all good. Stuff. There you go. So that's giving you an idea of stuff. Videos. Fine. So a bunch of videos. Like the London interview ones, some of these have got over 1 million views on YouTube. I haven't done many videos recently. Click that, you'll find out some stuff about me. That's where you can email me and leave me feedback. Live shows, click there, you can get details of dates of my stand-up comedy shows in Paris and London sometimes. Click there and you can find ways of helping me out if you want to return the favour for all this stuff that I like to do for you. Discussion forum, yes, that's right, a discussion forum. It's a good way to get in touch with other listeners to this podcast, or lepsters, or pleppers, or whatever that you want to call them, LEP ninjas or leprechauns. There are lots of forums actively being used, and it's also a good way to share your Skype details with other listeners, and many people do that, and they get in touch with each other and they practice their spoken English together. Free audiobook offer, click there, you can get all the information about this free offer from audible.com, which allows you to listen to an audiobook for free. Pick any one. Another podcast about telling jokes. Well, that's a good point, because I've got way more. I've got way more stuff on telling jokes. I did 3 episodes, but I could easily do 4 or 5. So that's been many of you have already checked out all that content. I love the joke episodes. I'm glad to hear it. Me too. I love doing the joke episodes, and I plan to do some more. Also, in fact, that sort of leads me on quite nicely to the next thing that I wanted to say, which is some upcoming episodes. You are the only English podcast I listen to. Oh, well, I'm proud. I'm proud to be the only one. That's nice. Thanks for that. So, upcoming episodes. Well, I told you I've got more stuff on telling jokes, so I'll have to do some of those. I've got more stuff on misheard lyrics, so there should be more of that coming in the future. As I said, I got married just a few days ago. It's amazing, and I really want to capture how it felt and what happened. Thank you very much. Thank you, DC Hooper 91. I want to explain it on the podcast. Also, I want to teach you all the necessary and relevant vocabulary that relates to weddings. And there's loads and loads and loads of vocabulary all through the whole process of, like, getting engaged, planning the wedding, everything involved. Thank you, Freddie. Everything involved in the wedding and all of that, all of the vocab. Do you know all the vocab? It's quite a nice vocabulary family. Weddings and marriages. There's lots and lots of specific vocabulary that we use when we're talking about that subject. So I'd like to do an episode all about that too. I plan to have my friends Amber and Paul and other people back on the podcast soon to mess around, to do improvisations, to explain and demonstrate vocabulary for you, and also to just ramble about anything. So I will be inviting them over soon. Paul, are you still there? Paul, I think, has had some connection problems, which means that he's been dropping out. By the way, we're winding down. This Periscope is going to finish fairly soon, and this is exclusive at the moment. This is not going to go on the website. Well, this isn't going to go on the podcast. This is just something I'm doing right now as an experiment, just to see what Periscope is like and to see what people think. Where can I get that t-shirt? I think I'm going to have to publish the link to the shop again, aren't I? Okay, what I'm going to do is in the stuff section of the menu, I will put the I'll put a link to the podcast shop, so you can get t-shirts and mugs and things like that. The only thing about the shop, and perhaps the reason why I took it down, is because it's a bit expensive. Like, for example, I have to use a company, and I'm using a company called Cafe Press. Basically what they do is they will print the t-shirts, they handle taking the invoices, they handle delivery, they handle everything. And because of that, they take almost everything. I get a tiny portion of the money that you spend on the product. A tiny portion. It's not even worth really doing it. I don't really make any money out of it. The main thing is that you can get stuff like this. You can get the t-shirt, you can get the mugs, you can get the stickers, because I think that's cool. But because of the shipping costs, because I've got people all over the world and I can't produce locally, I have to produce in one place and ship everything from there. Because of that, the costs are a little bit high. So the t-shirt, the mugs and all that stuff, it's a little bit more expensive than I would like. And for that reason, I actually took it down from the website, because I don't want to, I just don't want to overcharge people. Okay? Now, if you want to get the t-shirts, you can. But at the same time, I don't really want to overcharge people. So I thought I'd make it a limited time only thing. And if people really wanted the stuff, they could get it. But then I would take it off and see if people said anything. I didn't get many comments after I took the shop off the site. And so I assumed that everyone was okay with it. But if you if you really want to get a t-shirt, I will put a link to the shop in that stuff category that you saw there on the website. So more stuff coming soon, more content, more podcasts and stuff like that. Check me out on Periscope, because I will probably do scopes from time to time. I might be doing live Periscope broadcasts while I'm doing episodes of the podcast. So it'll be something a bit like this, I have the microphone, I will have the headphones so that I can monitor what I'm saying. So, it might look a little bit like this. But the thing is that I will probably be looking at the website, and I'll probably be, really involved in talking into the microphone, and that way I won't necessarily be engaging with everyone on Periscope. The thing about Periscope is that I should really pay attention to the comments that you leave and any other interactions that you have. That's really the advantage of Periscope, that I can make a direct, connection with you. But really, my main thing is my podcast, and so what I want to do is while I'm recording the podcast, I really want to focus on the listeners. And if I'm doing lots of visual things, that could take away from the audio experience. So what I would do is I'd podcast and I'd just have this on, and I wouldn't necessarily talk to the Periscope people, I'd talk to the podcasters. But you'd be able to see me doing it at the same time. And also what I could do is pause the podcast, and then just talk to you like this. And I could probably do a little Periscope introduction before I start recording. So it'd be like a little extra thing, basically like an extra live stream with extra content. It's like a Q&A. Yeah, Periscope is a bit like a Q&A. That's true. So it might be possible for me to integrate Periscope into episodes of my podcast, or at the very least, just have Periscope recording me while I'm just doing my normal thing on the podcast. Okay, that's pretty much it. I'd say these are probably the last couple of minutes of the podcast, last couple of minutes of the Periscope that I'm doing here. So if you, and read comments, yes. The only thing is, as I was saying, the only thing about me doing comments here and podcast there is that I don't want my podcast to become too Periscope oriented, but at least I could just sort of have the Periscope there while I'm recording, and then if it's appropriate, I could deal with comments that arrive. Okay, so final minute or final 2 minutes of this Periscope. Do you have any questions or comments that you would like to ask me? Because you can do it now. I will deal with your questions for a couple of minutes just before ending this broadcast. So if you've got any comments or any questions, just put them down here. Anything at all. Anything, even if you want to just congratulate me for being married, That's amazing, isn't it? I actually really, really, really like it. I'm really happy to be married. It's amazing. And I'll be doing an episode of the podcast about it soon. So, any questions? What football team do you like? Okay. I did do a podcast about football back in, I don't know when it was, but it's called Premiership Football. What team do I like? Oh yeah, I was going to speak French, wasn't I? I was going to speak French. Okay, I'll tell you about my football team, and then I'll do some French. Oh God. Oh dear. Okay. So I did an episode about football already, and you can listen to that. But I don't really have a team, and I understand that that's breaking the rules. I know you can't say that, because when someone says to you, "Oh, what football team do you support?" you have to give them a team, because the rules are you've got to have a team, and also you should have a reason for having that team as well. So let me just tell you the story. I don't really have a team, but I love football. Absolutely love it. So when I was a kid, when I used to live in London. When I was a little kid, maybe 8 years old, my dad took me to a football match, and we went to see Tottenham Hotspur versus Southampton, and Tottenham won 5-1. Tottenham were a London club. I used to live in London. I started supporting Tottenham. Then when I was 9 years old, my family moved out of London, and we moved to the Midlands, and my dad said to me, "You've got to support a local team, because that's what you do. You support your local team, the team that you live close to." And so I thought, all right, and I checked out all the teams in the area in the Midlands, and it was like Coventry City, Aston Villa, Birmingham City, West Bromwich Albion, Nottingham Forest, and maybe a few others. And at the time, none of them really appealed to me. Okay, but then in 1989, it was the FA Cup semi-final between Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, I believe. And it was a really great game, and we watched it, all of us watched it on TV. It was a fantastic game, and I remember my dad saying to me, "If Nottingham Forest get to the final, we'll go to Wembley and we'll see them." So of course, naturally, I became a huge fan of Nottingham Forest at that point. But it wasn't just for that reason, it was also the way they played football. Their manager was called Brian Clough, who was a great personality, like really charismatic, quite funny, quite outspoken, and a brilliant football manager, one of the best managers the UK has ever had. Brilliant man. There's a film about him called The Damned United. When does my cousin Ollie come back to my show? As soon as possible. I love having Ollie on the show. I'll get him in here as soon as possible. He's a busy guy. So anyway, I also loved the way Nottingham Forest played football. I thought their manager was great. They had some great players like Stuart Pearce. And so I became a Nottingham Forest manager. Yes, French is coming, French is coming. I supported them. And then when I got to about 16, I suddenly lost interest in football. And I discovered music and girls, okay? And I forgot about football. And then, I didn't really have a club, really, for years. And then I bought my own flat in London near QPR football stadium, and so I started supporting QPR. But now, since I've moved to Paris, I don't really follow a particular club in the UK, but I do love football and love to play football and love international football in particular. Okay, French. Really? Really? Have to speak French now? Because that's quite embarrassing, because my French is not very good. I wasn't planning to do it. You're welcome. You're welcome. How much do you want me to speak French? How much? I need to know that you really want to hear me speak French, because otherwise, I'm not going to get the envy to do it. Okay, there's a lot of love here. Lots of love. That's nice. Oh God. Okay. Let's imagine I'm doing Luke's French podcast, okay? Okay. Since I'm an English teacher, I always tell people not to worry about making mistakes and just to be confident. So I really should apply that to myself, shouldn't I? Okay, here we go. Bienvenue à Luke's podcast française. Je m'appelle Luc, je viens à Londres. Et je présente mon podcast pour tout le monde I never thought I could be so close in chapters. Je présente ma podcast, mon podcast, je ne sais pas si c'est masculin ou féminin. C'est un podcast gratuit pour tout le monde pour apprendre l'anglais naturel et authentique. Hein? All right. Est-ce que je peux avoir une bière, s'il vous plaît? Now, my French is better than my Spanish, but it's not that great. There you go. That's it. Yeah. Just keep laughing. Yeah, keep laughing. Yeah, bon, c'est fini. Ça, see, even when I speak with croissant, even when I speak French, I have to sort of be a bit French as well. So, mais bon, I have to speak a little like this. I don't know what that is. So I'm not even using that. That's the end of Luke's French podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm now going to sign off. I hope that you're fine. I hope that you're slightly more comfortable than I am. My English, I owe it all to you. Oh, thanks, Freddie. Thanks very much. That's very nice of you to say that. Tell your friends about Luke's English podcast, and tell your friends about Periscope too, because I'd like to have more people here so that we can make this more exciting and more international and more relevant to everyone and all that sort of thing. It could be fun. All right. Thanks for listening to this experimental live broadcast. It is amazing, isn't it? It's amazing to be able to sort of speak to you so directly like this. You know, you can just write a comment to me, just write a question right now, and I can respond to it. That's amazing. It's certainly a new development in this whole podcasting thing, and something which I will probably follow more and more in the future. We'll just see how it develops. Who knows, maybe, you know, this will become a new thing. All right. I think there is a slight delay, so I'm just waiting for any comments. So goodbye, Luke. Have a nice day. Have a nice day to you too. Thanks very much for watching. I don't want this to be too long. I'm now going to stop. Okay? Cheers. Bye.